So we'll call the August 7th meeting to order, and I think we'll ask Tom to bring us up to date on where we stand on the water meter, lead, copper issues in terms of whatever's happened since the last meeting.
As I was just talking prior to the meeting starting, I just picked up my first box of the door hangers for the first installment. They have been calling people. We did an install yesterday. We did one today. We have 2 on Tuesday, 2 on Wednesday, and then one other one later in the month. But it's going to be slow going until people start really calling us. I'm going to have, Corey's going to start tomorrow. We'll start looking at our lead and copper list for information that we currently have with people's emails and phone numbers, and if they don't have a meter, we're going to plug them in, along with taking a certain area and putting the door hangers out.
You're just going to do those one area at a time.
That's what I'm kind of thinking, because we actually got to me, I don't want people to think that we didn't pay attention, because, you know, say we kind of originally said, well, let's take Blake, Sloan, Jackson, and that core area and rack them all out, but there's probably people already there that have meters. So kind of look at that, so then hopefully we're not dropping door hangers on people that already have. So that's kind of where we're moving with it. I think the scheduling is going to be tough at first. Hopefully we get into some sort of a sequence here and people start realizing what we're doing. Hoping they'll start moving faster. I'm sure we could start putting in quite a few meters a day if we can get people scheduled.
Like indicated before, once you're in that neighborhood, other people say, well, since you're here, can you do mine? And then that's where you can instantly gather that schedule.
Yeah. And of course, you know, the first initial, we're going to set up an appointment, will be to go in and look, but I'm going to have a crew standing there. If it's an easy install, we're going to install it.
Yep.
Then and there.
Just do it.
Or if it's not, we'll take some pictures. If it's something they have to correct, move, or whatever, we'll give them a timeline, they get back to us. Or if it's just plain something we can't handle, or pipe that we don't want to hook onto. One of the things we've been kind of talking about is if it's galvanized coming into the house, the only thing we can do would be to, cut it and thread it out of, say, the valve or something along that lines. We don't want to use compression fittings in the house.
So you're having to thread it. So you're going to thread it yourself.
Well, the question is, do we, depending on what the pipe looks like, do we really want to cut it and try to thread that short piece of pipe back out of the valve, and then we can hook to it? So again, it's going to be...
Or what? What's the alternative? I'm sorry, I'm missing the
There's no alternative other than replacing the pipe.
Yeah, there is no
risk. It's the liability is assumed by touching it last.
Right.
Always worried.
Right.
And the only way to replace the pipe would be to take
Chase
it
it
all the way through the wall and out to the street, to the curb stop, right?
And we're not supposed to touch that. That's their problem.
So we're going to have to assess as we go.
Yeah.
I know Paul's not here, but I'm kind of assuming, his last statement was about double checks would be to just make sure maybe while we're doing an install that there's room, if down the road it needs to be installed. Because we've kind of talked about it amongst ourselves. If we went that route with a double check, that means you're installing that thermal expansion tank, and typically that's it has to go in a certain area. Now you're really getting technical,
Yeah, which is why the private company was quoting us $1,500 a pop.
Correct. I mean, you don't want to blow up hot water tanks or boilers, and now that's the reason that they put in, and you want to make sure they put in the right place. So I'm still assuming we're headed down the road. We're going to keep installing them the way we've been installing them, and that's where we're going to go, unless anybody tells me differently. And even Paul was kind of saying, no, we'll, just leave room if it had to be installed somewhere down.
Yeah, I think that's what I was hearing.
I have a question. Now, with the copper and lead at the same time, are you capable to do that and
Well,
perhaps...
if we're already in the house, and they haven't been inspected, it's gonna be simple. The guys will have that paperwork as well. Just like the contractor we met with, you know, if they did a community 3 years ago, they had all the pictures and all the information, so that community, pretty much, it was easy for them to do the lead and copper, at least on the homeowner side. I didn't advertise it through the door hanger with the lead and copper, but if we get...
I don't think you need to.
I don't
It's
need
your
to.
prerogative.
We don't need to, because all we really need right now is
Is access.
access. And once we have the access, we're gonna gain that information.
Right.
So,
So you're getting 2 birds, 1 stone.
and that too, you know, you can only put so much on the door hanger without making it too small a font, and then people like myself and each ears can't read it.
You just toss it.
So is everybody who's out there looking at meter hookups capable and qualified to do your lead and copper inspection?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. As long as, because that seems to be the easiest entry level.
Yeah.
Is the lead and copper. And actually hooking up meters way above that.
So I just had a thought while you were talking that someone can shoot down in a heartbeat because I just had it 30 seconds ago. But it made me wonder if we should make a sign that would go just sit on a little stand in the front yard of every house where they're inside doing a meter install that says, "We're installing a water meter. Do you have yours yet? Call this number," or something like that.
Oh, like that.
So because that's what Carl was talking about, right? Like once you're in the neighborhood and people are seeing it, and if we could call attention to it the way a contractor does when they do a job on a house, even if it's only for an hour, it might pick up other people, and you just keep building momentum in the same
Or
neighborhood,
you could use one of those folding
like a sandwich board.
board signs.
Or, I mean, like campaign sign, we all know
Could
what
be
they
that,
are.
too. Like a
You can stick
contract.
it in and then reuse them. The next day we...
I don't know. What do you think, Tom? Is it worth trying
It's
to?
not a bad idea. I mean, anything that, you know, I'm hoping the door hanger goes out there. I would assume they're gonna see it.
Yeah, but if I know most people, they need to see it. What are we're told? You know, you have to show them 5 times and then tell them
When
one
they
more
see
time, and
you
then they
there,
see
their
it.
next door neighbors, oh, what are they doing?
Right.
Oh, they're here. Well, I've been wanting to get one too. Hey, Tom, can you do it?
I originally had said 7 days, and I put on it 10 working days. Figuring
Okay,
this
yeah.
time of year, people are on vacation.
Yeah, they're in here.
They might not see it. Next thing you know, they're gonna have 2 hangers on the door or whatever.
It's not as stressful as the first, addressing. It's not as stressful.
Patrick, can you work your magic and just do a really simple yard sign design for us that we can give to Memphremagog Press and have them make 4 of them, and they can just...
Sandwich board?
Yeah, well, could be, or it could just be a campaign
I'd
sign.
say
they can
those
stick on.
corrugated plastic ones,
Yeah, they can't, they're so
Like a
cheap.
contractor sign.
cheap and easy. Just stick it on.
The ones like a campaign sign. Like
Yeah,
Carl said,
yeah,
right?
And then you
We
pull
could
out-
use Carl's. We'll just plaster over.
You know, I got a bunch of them.
I'm just saying, so I'll just make the board and paint, and, you know.
Yeah, I think it would be easier to make a new one, but
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't mind doing that. So we want, like,
Patrick, it's the same thing that we did the watershed map out of, the Memphremagog Press prints at both sides.
yeah,
and
like
we
the
stick on them.
corrugated
Yeah.
plastic.
Yeah.
No, but I just mean like content. So you want like, what's happening here? Water meter hookup. Get yours now. QR
I would say
code.
something really simple and bold. We are installing a water meter. Don't
You're on
have
the
one
right
yet?
track.
Call this number.
Within those 2 statements.
Or City of Newport, installing a water meter. If you don't have yours, call this number or something like that.
What are those called? Political sign.
Campaign sign?
Yeah, you get them.
Yard signs. They're called yard signs.
4x8 and
That was a
any
sports
division
specific.
within a 4x8 sheet. You gotta buy a 4x8.
They come by 4x. Okay.
Yeah, 4x8, and you can fill it.
So a 2x2 or something.
Probably 2x4.
No. it's-
No.
Yeah, 2x3.
Or like 2x18.
It's something by
Yeah,
18.
They'll know. If you just call Memphremagog
Something by
Press,
18, I
they'll-
do.
Yeah.
Okay.
this is what they make all the time.
It's a
Yeah,
standard.
sure. You want the same QR code?
Yeah.
People
Well, we can
walk through.
use some of the wording if you want, but that's on.
That's what I was thinking, is you got that word.
That's good to have that, because a lot of people walk, do a lot of
Yeah.
walking in communities.
Phone number, the email.
Hit that.
Yeah.
20. The most common
Phone
is
number for
24 by
those of us
18.
not competent.
Yep, that's the one. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll do that.
Let's try it. We got nothing to lose. It costs
Yeah.
next to nothing.
No, it'd be nice. I mean, we've set up Well, of course, the wastewater truck's already set up their truck itself with tools and all the supplies, and we've set up another vehicle at Public Works. So all I really need is people to start calling and
So
start
do you
scheduling.
want some help? Like, this is something where I think we could probably recruit a couple of volunteers to help with calling if you want.
Well, I thought we discussed.
Well, I need the numbers to call, but right now I am gonna have Corey, we'll start going through the lead and copper and see what information we have there. If they don't have a meter, we'll start
And you didn't
calling
want
them.
anybody other than Corey making those initial calls? Am I remembering? I can't remember what you were
I'd
saying.
rather start out us trying to track it. That was the problem why they were calling the wastewater plant, they were calling Stacy and Robin downstairs. So now we actually had a spare phone that was in Jared's shop office area. And that's that number I have on there. We've taken it to the garage. It's linked to the email. So if they leave a voicemail or, the QR code's nice, but not everybody has a cell phone. Not everybody has an app that knows how to use that. So I think a lot of people are just going to call, leave a message, and then we can call.
And to add to that, I don't want to call 3 different numbers. Oh, you got to call this number, and then you got to call the number back to hear that number again.
Well, the problem we were having too is tracking the information. I mean, Jason and them are still going to be installing some, as Public Works will be, with Corey trying to track it. And then we've got our Gmail using a shared file so that the 3-4 entities, or Newport Water Department, Jason and Stacy downstairs, can all get it. So we're not having to email everything. We can just pull it right off of there. She gets the
Centralized.
information. Dennis came in to help us get things organized.
So potentially the help we need would be to go for something like white pages, which Patrick suggested. They just get a subscription and just
If
somebody
people
sit
still have a
down.
landline, yeah.
Yeah.
No, you don't even need a landline. White Pages will give you cell phone numbers. We just
Yeah.
used it for
But
NDD.
I thought we discussed the balance of people, the auto caller type of thing.
No, it's not an
No, it gives you the phone number.
Okay.
It's the white pages and the yellow pages combined.
That's a big dissuader.
Yeah,
So it's just the online one that you pay for.
yeah, you pay $20 a month or something.
So-
I mean, it's easy enough to do because we've got the names and the addresses of all the non-meter. So it's just a matter of going through. You might have changed the
Well,
ownership.
if there was somebody out there that we could hire cheaply or a volunteer that would just take that list to find the numbers would be huge for us.
Do you have any time for this?
Me?
Yeah.
Don't, no, I need other things from her.
I need some things from you.
If we had your White
Yeah.
Pages subscription.
We have bought a White Pages subscription
Yeah.
before. It's on pause right now because we do a lot of harassment of landowners too. So like, I don't mind re-upping our subscription, handing it over to Carl and say, go find these people.
Yeah.
Are you willing to do that?
Yeah, because I was actually going to say, like with the Legion, we actually do what we call a membership drive, where we sit down with phone numbers and stuff, contact these
Oh, yeah.
people.
But all we want you to do is go
Yeah.
address by person by person, address by address, and
I
find a
can-
phone
I
number
give you
so
the
we can
list.
make the
I got it
call.
right here.
Yep.
Yeah, which is right
Jennifer will
from
give you a
Stacy's
list.
file.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Let's do it.
share it with everybody.
Yeah, yeah. So I can email that to you, Patrick, either the link
Okay.
on white pages.
Will you email both of us so I don't forget and
Yeah.
we'll get him
Yeah.
set up?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
And then one other question. Do we have this information up on the marquee yet? Need a water meter, call this number?
No, the lead and copper's still on there,
But we could,
yeah, no, I
We-
could get something and have Mike put it up there.
yeah, except he's leaving town tomorrow, right?
Oh, is
I
Now,
remember if he's working tomorrow, he's gone all next week.
I'll ask
Rick,
Patrick.
within that,
I think Patrick.
there's only certain things you can put on that sign, or is it for us to let him
Anything the
decide?
city wants to do is, right now the policy says any city-sponsored activity.
Oh, no, I'm saying, do we have a narrative that we want on there? There's only
The
certain
narrative
things-
is, do you need a water meter? Call this number. Really, I mean, it's
okay.
that simple.
I'd like to, they're not calling us now. I'd like to have, I may word it a little bit more bold.
Fair enough.
Like, meters were,
Just meters.
mandated to go
Use the
in,
word
and
mandated.
now the city, Public Works is pushing to put them in. Something.
Meters are mandated, call this number. With a skull and crossbones, that would be really helpful.
I'll have that on the second notice.
The word mandate's a really strong
You know,
word.
leave the number up for a while. I keep on seeing the same thing and I'm thinking, I can't see this thing that goes on and on and on.
Yeah,
you know,
Oh,
and then-
I agree.
so don't have it turn over so quickly?
Yeah, make it as short as you can, and then it lasts long enough to
Yeah.
read.
Yeah.
Also,
I mean, I'm tired of looking up for your
That's
summer.
exactly where I was going. You don't have so much, so you can't see.
Pam, what were you trying to say?
you also said last time you didn't want it out on social media, which we could have done and still can do.
I think there's no reason not to put it on social media at this
I
point.
think we needed to get it
At
done.
this stage, that's a
The better,
useful
the more
tool.
we get it out there, the better.
So, okay, before I come to you, Lori, so about that, over the last 3 or 4 weeks, I've been developing a habit of turning the homepage on the website into an announcements location. And so I've got 3, I think, announcements up there right now. So anybody who wants can go and find the official line on what's going on. We did that with the boil water notice, and we did it with all the stuff about the election, and I just put one up about the planning commission today or yesterday. So we could put a little word there, it takes me 10 seconds, and then we could link from that, right, Pam, to the social media?
Yeah, but Pam's point is, if you have to do 2 to 3 clicks, you might not do it.
Right.
If it pops right up,
So you want just a social media post?
It has to be instant.
I'm just trying to ask so I
I don't
understand.
know, they're all talking over me, I think. If I'm going to post it on social media, all I'm going to put is water meter, here's the number, and then they can call it. It's straightforward. It doesn't have to link.
Love it,
to
that's fine with me.
It's
Sounds great.
straightforward. And you can do it with NDD and
Yeah, we can all put it out.
the rec department has their own
Wonder
Facebook
if-
page, social media. They can post it.
If it does,
And you guys have a large
if
membership.
we're putting it there, we should know whether they have one or not.
Way larger than 3 or 4 groups.
Well, you're
Right,
running it
it's a
in the
very
area
effective
you're
tool.
working, right?
Yes.
But does your residence have a water?
And it reaches people that wouldn't reach the
They
city
might not know.
more times than 92.
Well, we should.
You should know, but this is directed at the people driving by or walking
Oh,
by.
I see what you're saying.
This is the yard sign.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that?
Well, we're gonna just put, if we do this, we're just gonna have them like in a development, they pull up the road, they see it? Or are we gonna stick this, I was kind of thinking we were gonna stick it right on the person's lawn.
Yeah, while you're in the house.
Oh,
While
no, no,
you're
no.
doing the work.
Yeah, while you're doing the work,
on
you're
on
gonna,
house A,
you're gonna put it in the yard of the house you're working in.
House A.
And as you leave, you're gonna pull it out and take it with you to the next
and
house.
B, C, D, and E, you're gonna drive by and see
Oh, okay,
it.
so we could say that, yeah, okay.
But with that too, I thought with a couple more, while you're in the neighborhood, ask other people, put it in there while you're still working here, they would have it in their yard, so you.
Oh yeah, leave it there for a couple weeks.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
But a few other sites in that neighborhood.
What's that?
realtors say under contract, so why not water meter being installed here, have you gotten yours?
Yeah, that's,
And just
wow.
as soon as you get the commitment, they're signed up for Tuesday, on Friday when they signed up, you put the sign up.
love it.
You have somebody with by the neighborhood, but, it will be out there.
Yeah.
These signs are $11 a piece. They're
So
not
it's there
expensive.
a couple days. and then
Yeah.
you see it.
Banner?
That would-
I mean, I would post one on my wall, but,
See another, yeah.
Banner saying, have you got your
The end of
meter
the
yet?
dead
Like
end
you
street.
verbiage.
you don't.
That's a good idea.
A lot of people walk by with that QR code on there, walk by.
Yep.
Visibility.
Lori, I cut you off a minute ago.
Well, I've said this before. I know 2 people that if you called them tomorrow, they would say, yes, come and put my water meter in. But every time I say that, I get, let them call, let them call, let them call. Do you want their names and
Sure,
addresses?
no, we'll take their name. We're
I don't
collecting
know.
names from anywhere at this point.
Okay.
Names?
I will just say, it's like, we're taking your word on it, so it's a little weird that you're putting somebody else's information down, but I don't think it's,
Because they asked me repeatedly.
Sure,
And I have
yeah.
given the information.
I'm just saying, like, from my perspective, I'm not gonna go on somebody else's word that they want me to come harass them about a meter, so that's kind of why there might have been hesitation, like.
Yeah,
Or
and
call them and give them the Newport Water Department at Gmail and send the information.
or do what I did, which was, I took the information from the guy sitting next to you at the public hearing, his name, I just, Sokol?
Oh, Dave's Mark, he's actually got, I think his was today.
They went back and reinstalled it because they checked
And
it yesterday.
he said
and
he
they couldn't
wanted
install
one,
it.
I said,
Oh,
fine, I took his name, his number, I sent it to the thing and saying, this guy contacted me here, wants a meter, please call.
I think active,
So, Lori, please do that.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
and interact with members of the community, compile a list, like you said, you've got people, compile a list, present it to us, and we can,
So
that would be almost instant.
I know we're beating this to death, but it's actually important to make sure we actually have a plan. But I have one other question, which is, Mark's a good example. So Mark called me enthusiastically on Tuesday and said, they're going to come tomorrow and install my meter. Then he called me on, I may have this day off, but anyway, then he called me the next day and said, oh, they came, but they said my pipes weren't going to work, so they couldn't install it. And he didn't have any more information. And of course, you know, he hoped that I would, but I didn't have any information. But one of my questions is, if we go to install and we don't,
We need to say something.
what do we communicate to people in that process about when we're going to get back to them and what the problem is, right? How do we
And
do
we've got to
that?
still track them.
Absolutely.
As far as it didn't get installed and why didn't it get installed.
Right.
I'm actually going to reach out to the salesman, Dave Harris, to ask him. I could also call a contractor, but I feel a little funny there, say, oh, we're doing installs, but, and see what they do with a galvanized line, and see if if they feel comfortable with components that they may suggest.
Do you think that's probably what was going on for him? That he, you know, he's in one of those bluff
Oh, probably.
and out on the end of Bluff Road, little
Used
cottages.
to be a cottage, can't be.
Spruce, yeah.
The spruce extension.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it was probably old Galvy that they just didn't feel comfortable breaking onto.
Yeah.
They should have told him. Because
Well, in Mark's case, you know, they may have told him, right? So
he remembers. He remembers. He was
So
all over them.
it may be that the way to cover on that issue, which unfortunately is more work, is just to do a follow-up letter or a memo of some sort to those people saying, we told you that we couldn't install because of reasons A, B, C, and D. If you address reasons A, B, C, and D, let us know, we can come back and do it. But then there's at least a paper trail.
Yes, one other, I mean, Mark was not clear about whether or not the problem was his to fix or ours to fix. Right? He specifically said to me, well, is the city going to do that or am I going to do that? So,
So is that something where like all you guys are capable of putting that in an email on a DPW
Well, I would,
at the scene kind of thing?
maybe
Just do a
I could
paper
come up
trail.
with template sheets of certain scenarios, because I don't want.
check the box.
Yeah, I don't want to create more work for us. I know
Right.
Corey was complaining, he's had a few people email and they had, he exaggerated, but 50 questions. You sit there and you get a whole page and then it's just tying you up.
Absolutely.
So however we can minimize that would be huge.
Yes, so a sheet that says, we were unable to install a meter due to the following reason. You've got 4 boxes, you check one. No?
I would recommend, number one, is it goes back to somebody before it goes to people. I was going to suggest that Tom work out a template of what they found wrong, so we have the records in the city of what is wrong.
Yeah.
And then the city sends them a follow-up letter. So the whole thing is when they sit there and say, I don't think that guy did his job right, you're sitting there with, they've taken down the facts, they've taken photos, they bring it to somebody else or they can send the letter just,
That's fair.
you know, I think you need to have that step in between because they're just going to yell at the guys.
So
I'm not sure who wrote that, the email,
Taking-
don't use my name.
taking that that suggestion at face value, what we're really saying, Tom, is that the form is for your crew at the end to mark meter installed or meter not installed, here's the problem. And that comes back to Corey, and Corey knows if it wasn't installed, I have to follow up on that in some way, or I have to get help to follow
It
up.
goes to Stacy to log it in because they already have one for meters installed.
Right.
So that template exists.
Exactly.
And so John's point of the follow-up letter is very important because I think then we follow it up with, you know, these are the steps. So that, hopefully there won't be too
Well,
many.
and from the point of view of not having to retype and retype and retype, if there are 3 or 4 common repeat themes as to why, then that could be just a pre-typed category on the form where you literally check.
That's what I was suggesting, yeah. So the crew member just says, no meter installed, galvanized pipe was disintegrating, checks that box, right? And hands it back to Corey. And we know that has to be communicated to this team, and it has to be communicated to, we have to go back and communicate with the owner.
Can that be integrated into Patrick's mapping of the water meters? So we know where there are and where they're not still?
Well, we're gonna have to track that, because whatever meters don't get installed are eventually gonna get installed. One way
Or
another.
they're just gonna get charged that really weird flat rate.
Right,
Yeah.
but at least then we'll know that, say, the house across the street over here didn't get installed because the pipe was bad or the valve was bad. And so whether we go back and do it later on, we've got to deal with either pulling a line through, or the contractor does. We gathered all that information. Pictures included.
That's the most crucial.
Do we have, and this is a question for Rick, I think, do we have any better sense of where we stand on the water tower in terms of funding and whether there's any meter money there?
Here's what I'm willing to say, knowing that the tape is rolling. I have some level of confidence that we are going to come in under budget on the actual construction on the water tower. We're not able yet to gauge exactly how much, but I still believe we'll have that number in roughly a month, that we should be pretty close. And, it could be substantial or it could be negligible, but I'm relatively confident that there's going to be some room to play there to put in meters.
We just had our monthly meeting Wednesday.
Oh, I haven't had a chance to catch up with you about that.
So right now they're just waiting. I mean, the tower is at 95%. It's done. They're just waiting to fill it, test it, chlorinate it. The one piece we're waiting for is the booster station at the reservoir, which they're kind of figuring is at 90%. We're waiting on the electricians, Champlin, for all the communications stuff that goes along with that. They were kind of thinking it'd be another at least a week and a half,
Okay.
and then coordinating with the tower people to have them get them back here to.
Was there any conversation about how quickly the final bills could be prepared so we know what the invoicing's going to look like?
They don't feel, the total project won't be done. They're kind of figuring the whole project will be done the end of October. That's cleanup and everything.
And that's when we give up the what's it called? The contingent, not the final, the retainage. Is it retainage fee?
Yeah.
What is it?
That would be in October.
Yeah.
So we won't have a final number, but we should have a pretty darn
That's
good
your 90,
idea.
that's your 90-day completion? Or what do you do, 60 days or something? Your retainage?
They're calling that completed at the end of October is when they were planning on being completely done. The tower may be online end of September. Depends on how quickly they get finished up in the booster station.
Okay, you and I need to be really on top of this because Betsy got back to me from the Village of Derby,
Yeah.
and they're now assuming that the switchover is going to happen on or about the 16th of September.
It may
Which
get
is
pushed out.
2 months after I gave them, in the form they wanted, the legal notice that Newport was going to cut off the, cut over to our own system. So we've got some room to breathe. I'm not too worried. I just want to make sure we're being really clear with them. And if it changes and we need an extra week or two, that we let them know that ASAP. Okay. All right.
Okay.
I think we beat this one about as far as we can.
Yeah, it sounds like we have a plan, and it's just a question of implementing it, and seeing how it goes. Good. And in terms of the ordinance issue, I haven't had a chance to look at any of my part of that. Paul's not here to update us, so I guess we won't do much with that tonight.
Okay.
Budget review. Is Chip going to be able to generate any kind of preliminary figures for us fairly soon?
Yeah. Has he given you anything on sewer and water?
Oh, I wish you would.
You don't have anything to do.
I haven't seen it in any emails.
Okay.
We spoke in our department head.
It's easy for him to
Everybody else has got theirs.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it hasn't happened, so I'll check with him tomorrow about that. I'll
Mine
find
being
out.
the biggest.
I think it's because there was just a miscommunication, so I'll find out. So I'll talk with Chip. What he's providing initially is he's going to give each department head a transaction list and how every transaction was coded so that we can actually do a deep dive into what goes into every line in that budget. And then it's going to be delivered on a spreadsheet, as I understand it, that will have a column where Tom can go through and put in a note that says, this contains the following, this, and this. That's it, what will be in that column, and that will tell us what's in there, which is what I think Paul's been really angling for, right? And of course, for Tom, it's going to be a bigger job than anybody else because he's got 3 different complicated budgets to do it for Public Works and for water and for sewer. But yes, Tom, I will make sure that you get that tomorrow. There's Chip, I'm surprised. I think it may have just
I
been
think
an
everybody
oversight.
else has got theirs.
I think so too. And so maybe there's just some communication.
You're special.
I have the most, so I'd rather get it sooner than later.
Yeah.
The most changes to your codes, everything?
Well, I don't know. That will be kind of a pain for me since I've been coding stuff for 25 years.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff's like, yeah.
Feel for you.
Yeah. And when you go through a stack of slips like this every week, it's going to be pain, but
It's going to be the worst,
it's
having
more,
just gone through that.
with what they're really asking, it's more on how many line items there are amongst those 3 budgets, and then I'm going to have a column of everything that gets put in there, and I need to go through every one.
And some will be quick and easy because it's
some might be.
obvious in one thing.
Sure.
And a lot will be more
Yeah.
complicated. So anyway, I'll get back to you tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, because until we have that, we can't really do a whole lot in terms of looking at any rate adjustment for the November cycle.
Right.
We don't have anything to go on at this point.
Sounds like the only thing we can do is start looking at the ordinance.
Yes.
Paul's not here, unfortunately. We probably got the best.
I think that's right. I did have communication today with the folks at both Passumpsic and the Vermont Bond Bank. I emailed them this morning and they both responded. And basically they're saying that what they're going to want to see from us for the conversation about the borrowing for both the $1 million sewer note and for the long-term water tower note, that both the short-term for Passumpsic and the long-term from Vermont Bond Bank is a 5-year projection of income and expense. And I know enough now about having been through this once before to know that, all we really have to do that is do the first one for the first year and then say, okay, what do we expect to have happen in terms of what's our guess about how expenses might change and how we'll have to adjust rates accordingly, right? Well, everybody knows it's a seat of your pants guess.
So you need to be able to guess inflation as well as the Federal Council of Economic Affairs.
Yeah,
Nothing
I mean-
major.
Nothing.
Right. If Paul Volcker or Ben Bernanke or any of those guys can do it, we can do it, right?
Bernie. I think he retired, didn't he?
Yeah, he was my day.
I was like, I haven't heard that name in a while.
Well, and you also have to take into account the reduced usage.
Yes, that's right. We're going to have to really
That's a
play with
whole
that.
Other,
Yeah.
Like, okay, a year from now, everybody's going to be on meters.
Yeah.
Now what happens?
At least we have some historic on it, so, potentially if you flow that, you're going to assume that you're flowing the ones who are the sort of savers. So, that's the easy part in my mind. Yeah. So,
And the other thing they're going to want is the audit. And we have some assurance that we're going to have an audit at least our first run at it by the end of September, first week of October. So we'll be able to use that as we try and negotiate these things. It's going to be, that timing is going to be a little tough on the water tower interim note, assuming we get approval for it Tuesday, right? Because that line of credit has to be paid off on October 6th, and we have to have the other note ready to roll, at least by the day before that, to make that happen. So, but the audit went, it was painstaking, and I think the auditors went away feeling like they had gotten a lot of what they were looking for, and there was good cooperation.
Was that an outside or an internal?
No, this is an exterior, this is
Yeah, I think
KDS
that's how they-
coming in and spending 4 full days last week,
He kind of did,
just
but I'd already
saying, I want to see these receipts, and then going downstairs and
I don't know if
finding them and bringing them back up here.
They just email.
And Chip was here on
I
the
understand.
premises for a lot of
Oh,
that.
yeah,
so
no, I get it. I said,
there was a pretty high level of rigor in it.
put my name on it. I don't know if you need it.
No.
Given a lot of the people that would be savings oriented as far as water are already metered, I'm wondering how much of an impact meters will have on the more profligate users.
The problem is all of them are low-end users to begin with,
Yeah.
because, and that's the thing, and that's not been projected correctly. That's where our sort of glitch is.
In other words, the minimum is way too high.
It's gonna have to be adjusted, I
The
think,
numbers on it is diversified.
until we get a little further along, we're gonna have to do that, because what you're gonna have is, you'll have less usage for the same price, potentially.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was thinking about that today. We had a closing, single elderly person, single family residence, and the last quarter reading was under 2,000 gallons. That struck me as incredibly low.
Yeah.
It's not really when you figure it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's low, but, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but it is a house where there's an efficient washing machine, and it's a single person, and efficient.
Such an interesting
Probably
concept,
efficient.
isn't it? You know, you want people being conservative and efficient. So,
What you have to realize is it's an incredible amount per day that none of us use on the daily basis. You know, literally, it's assuming you are using whatever it is, 75 gallons per person per day. I mean, that means you're gonna have to be doing, 4 washing machine loads full of
To me,
stuff.
that's high too.
Yeah.
Way.
Yeah.
Especially for, I think my wife and I both work, you go home, yeah, you're both gonna shower at night, but you might use some water to cook or do a little laundry, but you're not using 150 gallons a day.
No
No,
way.
and this is the thing, we had to argue, whatever it was, 10 years ago. I said, no, it's too low, no. Sort of. I did read through the ordinance, and which I had done before. I have a whole highlighted ordinance from the last sewer and water. There's some wordsmithing that needs to go in there, which Paul picked up some. But one of the things that's missing is we refer to forms, but not with consistent names.
okay.
And so it's one of those things, so in going through the ordinance, we also need, and I think it's by Tom's department, all of the things on the allocations, what exactly the name is on, there's the water capacity allocation, there's the preliminary, there is the final, there's this, there's that, and just getting all of those forms. So I don't know where all of those forms are. Are they you downstairs, or for applying for capacity for putting in a new meter?
Ones that are already existing or the forms themselves?
The forms themselves for going forward.
Oh, I have them.
Okay. It'd be nice to have
On the
copies.
website.
They might be there. I have a,
So, Jennifer, it seems like it might be useful if you could just make a list
yeah, I have a
of all
partial
the
list.
forms that you were seeing referenced in the ordinance, and then we can go say, is this even being used anymore? And if so, what's it called, and where does it belong?
And then there's one thing, which is you have to apply for water usage every time you sell a house. That is basically, that's what the ordinance says.
Apply for water usage as
As
you
if-
sell the house?
Yeah.
Assign it to a new
It's not a, you end up applying for the capacity.
There's only one community around here that ever used to actually formally do that, and that was North Troy, and they abolished it.
Yeah, well,
On the theory that once
So
the
that's going to be an
house,
ordinance change we're going to
yeah,
make.
once the house is hooked up,
It's
hooked up.
in here.
It's just a question of changing ownership, just like you change with Vermont Electric or whatever.
Yeah,
To me,
Yeah.
the allocation ran with the property.
yeah, and
That's how the
that's,
sewer always was too,
Yeah.
until we changed it, because in the state size, that's, we still have entities out there that have sewer on the books that we can't take back from them. So we changed that
Yeah.
back many years ago, so that, it resorts back to us if they don't use it. But if it's an existing property, that allocation, water and sewer runs with that property.
Right, and that's how the state permits are written too. It runs with the land.
Unless somebody buys it and they put another addition to it, where they have another apartment or something, then they have to ask for more allocation.
So with regard to the ordinance review, Tom, my recollection from our last meeting is that part of what Paul was looking for was a bunch of information from you about specifications. There's a whole section of the ordinance. He has everything he needs
I
now?
sent him those. yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
and I
They
found
were-
mine, I think we sent them the same day. I found a
Great.
copy I had that Frankie gave me.
It was confusing because the first one was done in 2001, but then the last one I did was in 2005. It was approved. We found the minutes, but Jim didn't have it downstairs, but I found it.
Great, okay. So who needs, do I need to, or does John need to follow up with Paul to just kind of say, what's our timeline to try and get this language back to
He
us?
sent a couple of us a
Yeah.
partial draft of what he was working
Yeah.
on so that we could look at it, tinker with
yeah.
it.
So I think we're sort of destined to go back. I don't understand one of his notes, which was the backflow prevention, which is in the ordinance. It says that new connections shall be constructed in accordance to the city's backflow prevention policy. And his
But there's no
note,
policy.
is there no policy?
Not that I'm aware
I
of.
thought we talked about that
I
before.
mean, that's
Well,
kind of,
we talked about installing things to prevent backflow, and he ended up saying that it should be in here as opposed to in this policy. But if the policy doesn't exist, then it's one of the things to discuss. There are a few things in here to discuss. One is, what are you going to do with the real glitches? What are you going to do with the wedges that it's never going to have a meter? How do you condition this in here? I ran into a problem editing it online. I could not get any of my edits to come up with either a cross out. You spend 5 minutes crossing the thing out and then
And it doesn't hold.
yeah, it doesn't hold. I don't know what Paul did or whether it's the computer I was using, but, so I ended up, I have that.
Yeah, he's doing it in Word, which I'm no good at. I'm still on Word.
I have no idea what I use. I think it's Word.
So can you help me understand, what's the process? Like, does the ordinance review, should the ordinance review be happening before we try and adjust the rates again? Are they not tied to each
No,
other?
they're not tied. It's-
Yeah, they're not, I don't see that they're tied.
Oh, but-
There's a
but if you're
reference.
But it
in
makes
here.
sense for us to do that first.
I would agree because
You
there's no
could
in there.
do either way, because your ordinance says that the, water board will set the rates. And that's all it says. What is in here is, it does say you can't refuse entrance into your property. And that's what we need. There are a few things we need in here, but right now, this is not as bad as it could be. It needs to be updated.
But we can't adjust, in a pragmatic sense, we can't adjust rates until we have more information. But we can adjust the ordinance because we know it needs to change.
So we
Correct.
could be making that.
We could be making that happen first and adjust the rates as needed because that's how it's
You can't
written.
either way. The two are not linked to each other. One can
Sure.
proceed or,
Sure.
so
Okay.
it's.
But I'm talking about an operational, and
It takes quite a while to change an ordinance.
Well, that was going to be my next question.
Yes, you're going to
60
need
days.
to raise the rates before you've got the
Yeah.
ordinance.
So can somebody help me remember, because I know we've
That
reviewed
shouldn't
it.
stop us from starting.
No, we should work on them now if we get the budget done. You've got 60 days and another 30 days, and you have the warning for the
Public
60, I think, so.
Yeah, it's a process.
But
I
you-
mean, even if we had it literally done tonight to present to the council.
It would be November.
November, December
Yeah.
before it would go
Okay.
into effect.
Yeah,
And you need the water rate, the water sewer rates
The
before then.
contemporary.
yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right, so,
Just so if you, oh, sorry.
no, please.
So the wording that you said for backflow,
Yeah.
so what we've been talking about with the double checks, that's exactly what that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
But there is no requirement, and we've been talking about not making it a requirement at this stage, because.
The only ones we require are businesses.
Exactly, commercial backflows.
So, and that's one of the things, because we don't really distinguish, we reference households in here. And then we get mushy on the distinction of the others. But potentially that section could be backflow policy, you know, when adopted or something. You could put it if you think you're going to need it. But there are a few things in here that are going to be really sort of difficult discussions, I think. And some of this is like no-brainers. You know, just it's defined, you know, if from the curb stop to the house, it's the property owner's responsibility, that's clear. You know, but you're owning the meter, and how are you going to deal with that? And deal with if a private contractor gets a meter, are they going to always buy it from you, or can they buy it from somewhere else?
No, meters are supplied by us.
Okay,
Because you hold the permit for inspecting it.
Well, it's because we want a specific meter.
okay. So-
They can
so-
be read by your system. and-
Right,
yeah.
I mean, it's
So the
all linked to our
requirement
radio
is-
read system. I mean, it has
Okay.
to be the meters that we are installing.
Okay, so a new property,
Programming and everything.
new property can't, it has to pay for their own installation, but they must install a city meter.
Correct.
And we don't, you know, so if a new house goes up, and the plumber goes to the wastewater plant and they get all the parts they need in the meter, we don't mark anything up. We're selling them parts and stuff at cost.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
they have to buy our stuff.
They
It
mark it
has to be.
up.
sorry.
You know they do.
Yeah, we know.
Okay, so I'm hearing that the ordinance process, basically our goal is get it complete,
Yeah.
make a recommendation, and get the council to approve the process to start. That's our next step.
Whenever we can put it together.
As soon as we've got a final version, process begins clicking when the council considers it.
But time-wise, our more urgent task is to make sure that we're in a position to recommend whatever we have to do with rates in October, so that they can be approved prior to November 1.
So that's my next question. What information do we not have that we need in order to make that judgment?
The rates, well, we need the updated budget information and financials for the
Yeah.
quarter that's just been billed,
Yeah.
or is about to be billed. We need to know what's being billed.
Okay.
Basically, as up-to-date financial information as possible.
So,
And then obviously, we need to know what happens next week.
So I don't understand why the rates that we set in May or whatever it was is not the most up-to-date financial information.
It is for income. What our problem is what is expense. We need the expense. We know we can project the income based on the
Those
existing
rates.
rates. Because that's what I
Adjusted
projected.
rates, yeah.
The adjusted rates, and compared to what Paul and I were aiming for, because we were the ones who sort of tweaked the rates, what we thought we were going to get. My projection, once I saw what was billed in the May billing, which is the latest billing, because we were projecting on gross figures from the, whatever, February billing, if I got the times right. We're $40,000 shy of where we thought we would be in income.
And they're just doing the August billing now, or,
No, the end of the
No.
month, right?
well, May was due June 15th, right? So
Yeah.
June, July, August, there's going to be a billing coming out within the next week or two, due September 15th for the quarter ending July 31.
So we can flow those.
So we need to see those
Yeah.
numbers too.
Yeah.
So what we want, I'm just trying to make a list here of the things that I can help to get us. We want the quarter, April, May, June, and then as soon as
May,
this
June,
quarter,
July, yeah.
well,
We want the prior quarter, and then we want the quarter that ended July 31st that's about to be billed.
We have the prior quarter. I have that right here. I got all of it. That's where the figures are from, is from the bill that went out from when we raised the rates reflecting the November rate increase.
okay, so what you're looking for right now is
Has it been generated?
June, July, August.
Right, which is going to be billed within the next week or so, presumably. Because they-
I think further down.
Wouldn't it be billed after the end of August?
I
well,
think so.
Well, it's due September 15th, right?
No, it'll be, I think it'll be built
So
before.
it's May, June, July?
So it's May, June, July, so generally the bills go out by the second week after the quarter ends, so that you have 30 days to pay them, and they're due. So the May, June, July is for the quarter ending July 31, due September 15th. They generally, historically, have billed it somewhere between the 5th and the 10th or 12th.
The other thing we mentioned at one point, and I don't know if you want to address it before this billing, is we said there were other sources of income. For instance, the city doesn't pay water for some of the uses that water is used for, like at the park. For instance, the new mister is supposed to use 8,000 gallons for the summer, but Recreation said we don't pay anything for water. So there is that source of income. And I don't know, there are
Except
a number of other...
hold on,
Interpart-
but it's not a source of income,
No,
is
it's
what you're
not.
saying.
Yeah.
It's not a source of income. If we're not billing ourselves in the city, it's not a source of
But
income.
it could be.
But it-
Well,
It's not significant.
Honestly, the only thing would be Priority
Governor
Beach
Park is
Campground,
not-
because that's the only place where you're actually offsetting the cost to somebody else. The park is a spread fee.
exactly.
Okay,
Service of the
and
city.
let's talk about Priority Beach, and I don't know if it's
It is metered, right?
negligible or not, but somebody should find out.
The total of the unmetered, the metered property the city owns that is not paid is 622,000 gallons in a quarter.
Which is at 50 cents a gallon.
Well, we don't pay 50 cents a gallon.
Pay like half a cent a gallon.
Yeah, we pay $2 per 1,000 gallons, so let's do, what, $5 per 1,000 gallons, so 600 times 5.
So that's not significant. Okay. What about all the other income that we receive that's not from metered or unmetered?
That will be in the budget
residences?
figures.
For instance, there are discharge fees.
Yeah.
Can any of those other things that we get income from be raised?
Well, that's a good point. I do feel like if you're pulling water from a well and discharging wastewater into the city, then there should be some sort of corrected fee, but at the same time, that's got to be a pretty small number of units.
There can't be very many properties in
I
the
thought
city
we
that have
discussed-
springs or wells but have city sewer.
Yeah.
It's more commonly the other way around. You have city water and you have your own septic
I
system.
can also produce that list for you.
But it can't be significant.
It's not significant. I don't know how many, but I match the addresses with water to sewer, so I've got a spreadsheet that shows both of them.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
about the trucks that, is it the trucks that come in and deliver?
Yes,
That's waste.
that's waste, we're treating waste for them.
Those got adjusted
We
up.
do sell for swimming pool people, so we do sell to Juddy or something. That
Is there any
is,
rate
that's,
increase for any of
that would be when we do the rate increases because they're all attached with the water and sewer rates. So some of them did go up when we increased the water. Some of the, well, basically it was a lot of the
The pool went
sewer.
up.
Yeah. Well, that's,
The septage-
that-
septage went up.
Yeah, the pool is for people in the city who have pools.
Yeah.
So that's not the same as selling to Jetty, or we sell to the state of Vermont. All of that stuff is tracked, and we've got the gallons on. Sorry, I've obviously played with the numbers.
Is that pool rate on the bill?
Full rate is on the bill. It's usually done quarterly, so they break down the price of the pool
Should
quarterly.
be,
And it is also on the,
They're
huh?
not
I guess it should
filling
be
the pool
quiet, it's not
with
on.
tanker. They're assuming that they're filling that pool occasionally
Yeah,
because they have a pool. It's just
Yeah.
I just put my hose in the pool.
evaporation.
It runs for an hour and a half, and I've never seen
okay,
it.
all right, so you're metered. Okay, you don't worry about
You're just
it.
paying the meter rate.
Yeah, it's the non-metered, yeah. Yeah.
Yay. The other thing,
We are
I mean,
still-
along the lines of what you're talking about, Ann, is I still don't quite have my head around this, and Tom can clarify, but we're going to see a shift because we've been buying water from Derby for customers up on the east side, including the industrial park, at one rate, and then selling that water, and then billing
Our rate.
at our rate, which is lower. So we've actually been paying more for the water than we're getting for it.
Yeah.
So that's going to get addressed now automatically when we make the switch over with the new water tower. All of those customers are coming to us, and the slippage that we've had in that set of numbers, as I understand it, is going to disappear. Right?
But if I'm right, we're already factoring those into our water and sewer billings, or do show the bill out to them
Okay.
by the number of gallons, but it doesn't show that we bought those gallons somewhere differently than
Right.
processing ourselves.
And just a couple of questions that are going through my head. Number one, we already included like almost $200,000, right, for, was it debt service on the 3 million? Did
Yes.
we include
The one for the
that?
3 million, we made a wild guess.
Yes,
And it's in the budget
right.
at the guessing number.
Yeah.
What's not in that budget is the 1 million for the sewer loan that we're asking for permission to do on Tuesday next week. So when we do the rate adjustment, we're gonna have to take that into account.
Exactly.
So, right, and I was gonna say that that's just for the sewer users. I mean, I recognize that's really, I mean.
Correct, it's gonna be on the
only a
sewer
handful
side of the
us
bill.
that don't pay sewer, I'm guessing.
That's right.
But, okay, so there's that. Now, the other question I have is, knowing that we're going to have to keep doing this for a little while, what is the potential of at least getting some sort of maybe monthly reading to get some sort of baseline from the system as we're putting in? I don't know how the system works, so I don't know how we're getting readings, but is
Somebody
there a
drives every
way-
street, right?
Is there a way to get, as we start adding, so we're getting like an end of the month, so we
Somebody
can
would have
see
to, a staff person would have to drive every street
around?
slow.
Yeah.
It doesn't take that long to read the meters. You could certainly go out and read the meters, but then it's gonna take a staff person to
Interpret the data.
take that data.
And it basically wouldn't be worth it. I mean, there's going to be some savings, but we're billing every 3 months, so it would take, you'd have to wait a month, so you take it, so you would have a, month and a half reading, and
I guess what I'm thinking is that part of the conversation has been, we might have to adjust the rates almost every quarter.
Yeah, and the way we're gonna do that, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
No,
Go ahead.
I mean, if we adjust rates every quarter, we have to start at some point, but we're always gonna be
1 quarter behind.
almost 1 or 2 quarters behind.
That's right. It's just the reality of how this is working.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're waiting for right now, is how can we get the most up-to-date
Yeah,
information.
and the idea is that once we actually get a grip on all of this by having everything metered, we can start really projecting forward instead of playing catch up.
Right.
And but we can't do that for 2 years.
Can I ask you about one more expense? I don't know, when you bring a water tower online, I don't see insurance anywhere in the water and sewer budget. Does that go into the general insurance that we pay for,
It's a great question. I don't know the answer to that.
I think we should make sure that we're insured. Is there a guarantee also?
Same questions that you had asked me the other day, why I had so much, some big numbers in there, because it's the insurance and stuff like that's front-loaded in our budget.
But the question I think Ann's
How
asking
much
is,
that's gonna-
have we just added a $5 million, an insurance policy on a $5 million water tower? So if it topples over, it's covered. Which is a great question, right? I hadn't occurred to me, so.
And I would assume that there's a warranty for a year, but somebody should check out what the warranty on it is too.
Well, it's usually a construction performance bond or something, but
6 years or 60,000 miles.
That was the-
Bumper to bumper.
in terms, or Ann, I have a question. Are you talking about operational liability insurance or property insurance? Those are like two wildly different.
Yeah, I think I was really talking about, fire occurs or something like
Yeah.
that, and we're not insured for it, I don't know, but I think at the point,
It's a really good question.
I don't know.
do you just add it to your regular policy?
It's the kind of dumbass question that I keep getting blindsided by and thinking, how come nobody thought to ask this? So we should absolutely ask
It's
that
a new
question.
asset and you gotta reappraise.
Absolutely.
Your whole.
So I will flag that.
And with the loan, you have to secure it with.
And it would be worth knowing how long your warranty is, I think it's usually a year or it was.
Yeah. That one worries me less because it is what it is. But what matters to me at this, you are welcome and to ask me after I get back from my vacation in the next week and a half. Rick, have you thought about this again? Because this is the kind of stuff that does slip right now without a city manager, and I'm glad to have your help with it. So we need to go back to VLCT and
Well,
say,
the
do we
bond-
need to reappraise right now on this?
The bond bank is going to want.
Gonna require it,
a certificate
right?
of insurance to extend to that
That's
property.
right.
So that'll trigger it too.
It's a great question.
But
Okay.
then the other question is there a way to break down the insurance in some way to allocate property insurance on water and sewer assets to the water and sewer accounts rather than the city's general?
And split
Well, I
the
think
I'm
cost.
sorry, can you say it one more time for me, please?
In other words, should insurance on water and sewer assets be paid for by the water and sewer funds?
Pretty sure they are.
I think that's right. I think they're divided up currently.
Some of the questions that Rick had tossed off to all of the department heads at our meeting, just looking at our budgets from the past month, there was some big tickets in there, and one of them was property insurance.
Was it? I wonder.
Yes.
But
And
we're not, it's not in the budget. We don't have a line item for property insurance, for either water or.
It'd be under, well, I don't know what you have for a budget there. Was it under other? No, it was under,
So let's not worry too much about it. And
Okay.
the question is valid, and we
It's
will
in there.
investigate. Okay? Because honestly, I can't tell you. And right now, Chip's really trying to wean us off of the spreadsheet analysis that's been used for years and get us to talk only about what's in NEMRIC going forward, because the spreadsheet stuff that we've been depending on has not been reliable. Okay. Can we wrap early tonight?
I think so. There's no,
You got your
Can't
computer
be
hooked
reduced
up?
to that.
I can pull it out.
Yeah.
yeah, there's not much else to talk
Just
about.
because it stopped running the Google Meet because
I
I
was gonna
didn't
say, other than I just sent everybody the yard sign graphic if there's
Oh,
any
you wanna see it?
comments.
Yeah.
It's pretty basic, there's nothing to it, but
don't
if
have
there's
to be
any,
anything fancy.
if there's any thoughts, now's
Did you
the
put the
time.
skull and
No, I
bones
did
on
not put
there?
the skull
If you've
around.
got it, Patrick, if you got it, let's just look over your shoulder.
How about hangman's noose?
Yeah.
Kilroy was here.
Any thoughts? Spin it around.
We see you. Just a minute.
It's 18 by 24.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Is it, I mean, people will have to stop and actually read it. They can't,
They're not gonna be able to drive by.
right,
Well,
they,
you
Without-
put it at, maybe instead of putting it at the property, we could put it at the end of the street, at the stop signs.
yeah.
Sure,
In
it's
in
totally
the
site
area we're gonna be
dependent.
working.
Fernwood, I wouldn't walk all the way to the stop sign, but on Sias, you might put it somewhere smart.
Yeah, yeah.
Go ahead, Lori.
I appreciate this, but I'm going to just tell you something. Because I say this every year to my wonderful friends at Faith Lighthouse. We make terrific banners for their concert. The date is so small you cannot see it. I love all that stuff, Patrick, but we're installing a water meter, call us. Because if I'm driving down the street, I am not gonna stop and look at that. That's just, I see these signs around town, for me, I see these signs around town and I drive past them, whether I'm sitting at a stop sign or not.
It's a point well made.
It's true. I mean,
What do
I've driven
you, so
by
what do you
4 or 5
act,
times.
materially, what are you telling me to change?
I think Lori's right. All it really needs is 3 things. We're installing a water meter, and whatever, do you have one, or call us, or whatever, with a phone number, and then we could put the QR code on it. Somebody's walking the dog can just get all the information they want from the QR
Just
code.
install your water meter now.
Right, install your water, City of Newport.
Install yours now and a phone number.
Yeah.
But we keep going back to the comment that like, we don't say it's a requirement, nobody's gonna do it.
Right. Well, honestly, this is not
How
where we're
about
enforcing.
save money?
That was
Install
advertising
water
in the
meter.
market.
That's misleading.
Let's take a consensus here, though, first of all, just in the room. Lori says she doesn't read them, but, you know, that might be a small percentage of people that stop there and, well,
So
that
here's
might
what
be
I know.
yard sale signs.
Here's what I know. If you're talking about somebody driving at 20 miles an hour down a residential street,
None of this is
No.
gonna work for them.
No.
Right.
Let's be real.
That's why I'm saying we need to put it
the
near,
sidewalk.
like, yeah, or at the
Below
stop
the stop
sign.
sign.
Or do we make
Somewhere
it
where
a
they're
little
gonna
bigger?
stop, they're gonna see it.
hold on. So just make 2. Make this one and put it at stop signs. And make another one that just says, we're installing a meter today. Meters are required and a number or something. I don't know what.
Install your meters now.
Install your meter now and a number. That's great.
No, no QR, no nothing.
You can still put the QR code in,
Yeah.
because that's,
I would say water in front of meter.
Perhaps we can do the next size up sign
I wouldn't.
that would give the letters a little bit bigger, like y'all indicating, so you can see it a little bit better.
Simpler is probably better from the
Yeah.
point of view of the
So-
average person.
Yes.
Say it again, Pam. What's your language?
Install your water meters now. Here's the number, city number.
Love it.
City of Newport.
Keep it simple.
Yeah. This is what happened. I made my first campaign sign 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I thought I kept it so simple. Somebody gave me great advice. Make one. Put it in your yard. I put it in my yard. I drove by and I couldn't read it. I was like, okay, I got the message.
I like the yard signs, that you know probably say yard sale, but it's in pencil or
Right.
yellow.
And people always manage to find those.
Yeah.
Crawling, it's not because they're reading the signs.
Yes, yeah.
Patrick, if
They're
you send
looking
those
for
to me,
the
I can
backup
get them to
traffic.
Dawn and take her to Taryn and take her getting them made.
Cool.
Okay.
Right.
How many you want us to? They're 11 or 12 bucks a pop.
Don't make many.
Make-
Wait till you see how much
Maybe we
Pam
make
does.
5 of the simple ones
Yeah.
and 5 or 10 of the more complex ones.
We gotta.
Because they can be moved around.
Yeah, every time we move, we're gonna move. them,
Yeah.
Are
Right?
you gonna entertain a banner perhaps?
Maybe. Let's do these first. A banner can be made in 3 days, so it doesn't take long. Let's get these up and see how it works.
You also only need the banner piece. I got a ton of the stakes.
I got a bunch
So do
too.
you.
Yeah.
And
I had the
now,
nicest comment the other day. Somebody said to me, I want you to know I have one of your yard signs in my yard, but I'm not giving it back because I'm assuming you're going to have me put it out in 2 years. I thought, what a kind way to...
Say, don't leave
have we
us.
decided what color we're gonna go for?
Thank you, Jennifer, for
Orange.
more.
Oh, yeah, I figured, somebody's gonna do that.
Really simple.
Or leave it to Taryn.
You talking to me?
No, you better not leave it to Taryn. You better put on there what you want for colors.
I mean, like, is white and black really identifiable?
Or blue and white.
Blue and white. That's the city color, right?
Yeah,
All right.
Blue and white, just like the trucks.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Blue
There you
and
go.
white. Blue
And we
and
probably need, now that we say that, we probably need at least a small copy of the city insignia on it.
Yes.
He's already got it.
Great.
The city on one corner, the QR code on the other.
Okay, so now I'm hearing a lot of edits. You guys got questions?
no, we're-
What do you
we're
want
close.
from
Patrick, you
me?
keep
What do
going.
you want from me?
This is good.
You're
Okay.
fine. You're fine.
Yeah,
I think we're done, Pip.
All right.
I think.